Instead of like being such a critical, worried mess about it, be proud of it and share it with people. Hello guys, how's it going? Before getting into the video, I personally could use a nice deep breath, and I want to invite you to take one with me to leave what's happened so far today behind us and really center in this inspiring, just whatever it is, this now, this present moment. Ready? I'm now ready to move forward. Okay, I love doing that just sometimes throughout the day. I like taking 3 nice deep breaths, but one will do. Well, most times. Anyways, today I am speaking to you if you resonate with being a sensitive, empathetic, soft-spoken, very considerate individual who actually deep down is very passionate, very creative and inspired, has a bit of leadership in them, a bit of a lion in them. If that is you, I'm talking to you today. I know that I myself have and do experience this, and I know so many other adult children who do the same. I'm going to explain a little bit more in depth this phenomenon, give some examples, explain why it happens, and then explain how to move forward in both healthy and toxic relationships. Ultimately ending with you feeling bold, feeling like you are empowered to be who you are, say what you feel, say what you think, say what you want, without being aggressive, by just being assertive in a very structured, beautiful way. Starting with a personal story, I had massive anxiety the other day about asking a couple of my roommates to please clean up after yourselves. You may not care, but I do care about the cleanliness of the house. I try really hard to get it clean, and then it magically, not so magically, it's very, very dirty, very, very quickly. Please help, please do your part. And in the past few days, oh my, it has been such a clean house, you guys. So all of that anxiety was for nothing. Me speaking my mind ended up being a good thing, but it got me thinking about all of these experiences that I've heard from different adult children in my life. So I'll give a couple more examples that aren't personal. A friend of mine who was in a toxic relationship was questioned whenever she went to do anything, was questioned why did she do anything. And so she, in a new, now healthy relationship, went to do something, and instead of just going to do it, made sure to explain what she was doing and why before just going on and doing it. And then had a breakdown because in the moment she realized how that is a habit of hers, to explain what she's doing, to always be thinking so hard about what she's doing, not just living in flow, living her life, and how now in a healthy environment she still has such patterns and isn't sure what's normal, what's healthy, how to be healthy, what to, you know, stand up about and be bold in herself with, and what to continue on being really super considerate with, you know, what's the balance, how do we do that? Another individual had caregivers come to her house, me being one of the caregivers, and she was expressing to me about another caregiver and things that they were doing that disrupted her quality of life, her peace in her own home. Not severely, but that's sort of the thing. Like, it wasn't severe, it didn't have to be a big deal. There could have been a simple conversation about, excuse me, could you please do this, this, and this in just a slightly different way, because it would benefit me in this, this, and this way. And the other person probably would have understood and changed their ways, and their quality of life, this adult child's quality of life, probably could have improved. However, there was fear there and a feeling of not being worthy, like they aren't gonna speak up and make things better for themselves. Side note, parts of being mature, not being a narcissistic brat, is compromise. Knowing that you can get what you want as well as other people getting what they want. And sometimes that means you lose some battles that aren't very important to you. You don't always have to speak your mind and nitpick about what other people do. Other people have the right to do whatever it is that they're doing. But, you know, in some cases, it really is okay for you to ask for something that you want. And even if the conversation doesn't change, like, you can still ask for it, you know, especially if it's something tiny. It shouldn't be anxiety inducing. Moving into why it is anxiety inducing is like the second example of my first adult child friend. She was in a relationship where she was questioned, where her sanity, her opinions, why she is doing what she's doing, even if she were to explain it, she was probably told that she was wrong for thinking or doing whatever it is she was thinking or doing, just outright, or because she was doing it a certain way. And so she internalizes this inner critic and this defensiveness, this feeling like you're being judged and attacked. Shield, this protective shield. I feel like there's so many other reasons why we do this other than literally being on the defense. Other reasons could be feeling like everything is a mess and you don't want to add to the mess. You don't want to bring about some situation that isn't perfect because so many other things are already imperfect. Another reason could be that you're afraid of the consequence of speaking your mind, of having an opinion of your own that's different from someone else. Because being judged and criticized for it means that the other person maybe thinks that you're wrong, you know, you're on different sides. And if you're on different sides, maybe you fear abandonment. You fear that there's not an unconditional foundation of love. There's not a future there. There's this shaky foundation that you're on in your relationship dynamics. And if you do anything, it could rock the boat and break everything and you could lose everything. When, as a matter of fact, perhaps if the relationship is actually rocky and so shaky, maybe it should break. Maybe it should crumble. Because if you're not aware, I'm sure someone out there isn't. Most of the world is not like this. Most of the world does not question everything that you do. Most of the world is minding their own business, not really considering what you do. Not in a bad way, in a very peaceful, non-codependent way. They're just doing them, and they think you're just doing you, and that's that. And if they have something to say, something, a feeling that came up, an opinion that came up, something that they want, they express it. They're open. And you know, sometimes they're not super considerate about the people who are very sensitive. And the people who are very sensitive are very considerate, and so they don't want to rock the boat in case other people are sensitive as they are. But what I have found personally is that most of the world, at least half, really is not this way, isn't so sensitive and isn't so considerate and is very open and honest with what they're feeling. And if they don't have a large degree of what they're feeling, what they're thinking, things that they want, you know, they really are content with what is. It's kind of weird. I feel like I'm speaking to a particular person who understands what I'm saying and why that's weird, because for us, we're like, we just live differently. But anywho, those are possible reasons why we may always be explaining ourselves, defending ourselves, afraid to even do anything. That's perhaps the why. And so, moving into the how to move forward. Just right off the bat, you do not need to explain yourself. Especially as an adult, answering to the person who does perhaps provide for you, even if they don't provide the emotional support that you may need. If they do tangibly provide for you, there is a degree of explaining yourselves. But, you know, in general, you shouldn't have to explain yourself. Just don't. Just don't. That's what I think. Just don't. Just be bold and do you. And to add on to that, to tag on to that little thing, is do you with integrity to what your values are and to what you have defined as what's okay, what's right. You know, don't be a malicious, mean person and just do you. Just like speak your mind and bring other people down in the process. But if you have pure intentions, pure values, you want to have harmony in your life, within yourself and within the people around you and within you guys' dynamic, then do you and know that you're coming from that place and just live your life. And if someone asks about it, you can, you know, expand, maybe explain yourself. Do not defend yourself. And even if they don't ask, in healthy relationships, maybe you can just bring up what you're feeling, what you've done today, and why. Because you're proud of what you do. What a concept, right? Instead of like being on alert and putting all of your stuff on trial because you're scared. All of your thoughts, all of your words, all of your actions, everything that you create, everything that you do. Instead of like being such a critical, worried mess about it, be proud of it and share it with people who are interested in you and who like you and who approve of you and are probably proud of you. That's a different way of life right there. So, I mean, it all boils down to you doing all right things, I suppose. You know, I guess you do have to explain yourself if you're not doing anything good, you know. And that goes back to like having a caregiver that you have to explain yourself to. Like if they're looking out for you and they see you doing something stupid, you know, maybe there is a bit of explaining themselves that they may ask to do, but maybe, you know, inquire to them, what is it that I'm doing wrong in your eyes? And what would you prefer that I do? Okay, if that's in alignment, all right. If it's not in alignment with what I want, this is what I want. Okay, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Getting back on track, how to move forward within toxic relationships. I would say create boundaries and a very strong self-awareness, and know that if someone is questioning you, if they are judging something that's important to you, even if it's silly, and especially if it's something important that you are passionate about, my advice is don't say anything. Definitely don't explain yourself or defend yourself. In a toxic relationship, they likely won't hear a word that you're saying, and if they do, they will use it either now or later in a very twisted way to devalue the things that you value, that are important to you, or that are just a thing that you feel, think, or want. So just don't say anything. I guess technical terms for this are a gray rock method. I think of it as just like looking at them so hard, or like just like loud silence that makes them actually look at themselves and be like, ooh, something. And you know how they respond could be such a variety of things. I'm not going to go into that, but personally, if it is just continuous, I say walk away, create some hard boundaries, create some hard space, no contact or not, just like really distance yourself from that energy. Because if this has happened to us forever, like as children up until like our adult lives, like 20 years, imagine 20 years of this energy. We now question everything that we feel, think, and do. That can lead to a feeling of complete insanity. Reclaim your sanity. Don't let people question you. At least recognize when they are questioning you and become aware of what you really think and feel and are doing. Is it in alignment? Is it with integrity, with your values, with what you deem is right, righteous, just, harmonious? Okay? So toxic relationships, I'd say distance. And you know, going back to my last video, get closer with people who don't question you, as well as distance from people who do. In healthy relationships, when you are getting closer with people who do support you, who do let you just do you, and who do them, oh, I thought that there was a person. I can't film when people are here. It's just a weird thing. Maybe if you make videos you can understand. Anyways, in healthy relationships, maybe we bring this fear into our relationship and someone isn't actually questioning us, or if they aren't questioning us in a malicious, like, you're wrong sort of way. And if they are, you know, they don't mean to be a mean person. They're just, you know, maybe just unaware, you know, not considerate, not sensitive to the fact that we are sensitive and have these fears. In healthy relationships, we bring this and project the fact that they're questioning us into the dynamic, onto the dynamic. We project it onto the dynamic, and it's not actually there. It is our job in healthy relationships to catch ourselves when we are bringing this fear, this dynamic into our relationships, when it's not actually there, and it's likely actually hurting the relationship because, you know, this other person is being projected onto this toxic way when this person is likely a healthy, normal person. It's our job to catch ourselves, to stop explaining ourselves, stop bringing that energy into our healthy relationships, and instead bring new energy of realizing that we are loved and cared for and accepted and understood, and affirming that to ourselves, strengthening that beliefs in ourselves. To affirm means to strengthen. If we bring a sense of feeling accepted and loved into our relationships will be nourished and grow in that direction in a very beautiful, flourishing manner. So, perhaps if there is someone in your life who does question you, practice being bold by explaining to them that this is something that you've experienced for a long time, either being questioned, and so explaining yourself, defending yourself, having this inner critic experience within yourself that maybe they're unaware of, and tell them it's scary for you to be bold about this, and tell them that this is going on, but if they could try to be more sensitive in how they question you or in how they interact with you, that would be really helpful for you growing into this really beautiful version of yourself, you know, fine-tuning into the best version of yourself. And maybe you don't have to talk about it to anybody, you know, you have every right to privacy, but just within yourself. It doesn't have to be this like massive fireworks transformation from going from explaining yourself, defending yourself, but you can just today start catching yourself, changing yourself. Alright? Okay, I think that's all I have to say today. If you want to buy me a coffee and support this channel, if you have the tangible resource to share, please do so. There's a link below. It really supports me. Other free ways of supporting this channel are hitting the subscribe button, hitting the like button, commenting below, sharing some love on the comments that are already there. I would love to build a nice positive space down there in that comment section. Another great way to support is watching these videos. So thank you so much for watching. I love making videos. This is a huge part of my healing journey, so just as much as I'm a part of yours, your healing journey, you're a part of mine. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you have a fantastic day. Be bold today. You can do it. I believe in you. You're so great. And I'll talk to you soon. Peace. You fear unconditionality. Unconditionality. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna run out of time here, 1 sec. And so it's our job to question ourselves, not question ourselves, catch ourselves. Excuse me. It's up to us to catch ourselves. Catch ourselves. I need to burp again. It is our job to catch ourselves. Catch ourselves. When we see ourselves, whoa.